Hey there, and happy holidays, Chad, Joshua, everyone else on the call. We're going to get started here in probably about 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes after top of the hour. Let people kind of catch up and get on from their afternoon meetings and join. But it's nice to see you folks, and we've got a cool presentation and look forward to sharing all the information with everyone. Happy holidays. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Andy Oak, the Marketing Director for Planet Technologies. I'll be hosting this evening, and we'll be get started here officially in a few minutes. We'll let some people catch up and switch over from kind of work mode to meetup mode. But thanks for joining us. Happy holidays, season's greetings, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes to launch the event officially. Thanks for being here with us, everyone. We really appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andy Oak, the Director of Marketing at Planet Technologies. We'll be beginning here in just a few moments. It's nice to see everyone here. Appreciate everyone joining this evening. We'll let the folks kind of trickle in here in the next couple minutes, and I'll officially begin the event. We're looking forward to sharing this information from you. And again, appreciate you being here. We'll get started in another couple minutes here, folks. Just welcoming everyone as people come in and switch over from their day mode into their evening mode. Appreciate everyone being here. Just another couple minutes and we'll get rolling. Appreciate your patience and appreciate you being here. Hello, happy holidays and good evening to everyone. Season's greetings. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight and good to see everyone. This is the Microsoft 365 Meetup for Government group. Tonight's presentation is M365, the year in review and a look at what's new. This event is being recorded. We are currently recording, so you will have access to that within the Meetup group if you want to use it for your customers, your clients, or review, or your own personal use. I want to just thank everyone. Thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank everyone for being part of the community. This is a community that we started almost a year ago, the Microsoft 365 Meetup for Government group. I'd like to thank Nick Giard, who's with us tonight and sort of leads us through this adventure that we've been on, along with my colleague and Planet Technologies CTO, Andrew Kagan. We formulate the leadership of this group and put the events together and get the guests and take your suggestions, moderate and record these events and manage the Meetup site. Any suggestions we welcome, any participation we welcome throughout this presentation. If you could keep your microphones on mute until we open it up for the question and answer. After Scott Dowling's presentation on Teams, we will have Andrew Kagan presenting and Scott Dowling, both from Planet Technologies, and I'll give them a little bit more of an introduction in a moment. But as I mentioned, we've grown to over 820 members in less than a year. We're creeping up on a year in January, and that's fantastic. I encourage everyone to share this group and share its existence and try and grow the community to more. We've got about a month left until we hit that 1 year anniversary. Let's see if we can hit 1,000 by that first year. But over the course of this past year, we've had a lot of really neat events. And I think, many of you may have been on these. We started off with a very strong event on Microsoft security, and we were learning about the recent cyber attacks that have been going on at the time. We did an understanding secure identity in a cloud world, which was pretty eventful and a lot of good information there. What now on M365, and how to build that atmosphere and what to do with that. Reaching for the stars, we had a fantastic special guest with the former CTO of NASA, Renee Wynn, talking about putting M365 on the International Space Station. That was really well attended, and I think a lot of people were just in awe of just the capabilities, the technical achievements at NASA. Just what a great thing for Microsoft, what a great thing for everyone involved at NASA, of course, and America and the world, certainly the International Space Station. That was a lot of fun. All of these are also on our YouTube channel. We can put a link in the chat for that, so for people that missed these who want to utilize them and share them with clients. We also started Power Platform, of course, huge in 2020, 2021. Power Up with Microsoft 365 and the Power Platform. Some great information on how to get going to that. And then as we started to trickle back in from our remote and our hybrid environments into the office, back in the office with Microsoft Teams and how to utilize that when you're sitting right next to the person and the features. And that's going to be a lot of what Scott Dowling is talking about tonight. One of our cloud strategists at Planet Technologies, and the stuff that's coming up on Teams and what we'll all be using Teams for to transform our hybrid, our remote workforces, and events like this, our team calls and events. A lot of really, really interesting and fun stuff coming up with Microsoft Teams that Scott will have updates for us. Then we were using the cloud for zero trust and chaos engineering. Zero trust still huge. Security still huge. We did records management and driving compliance, which was really, really interesting to me, and how to manage that in the M365 environment. I think a lot of people got a lot out of that as well. The White House executive order was pretty hot, and security still. And CMMC explained sort of a higher level of security that a lot of people in this group found very interesting. Our dev series started with Up Your SharePoint Game with Power Platform, more of that, and unleashing the power of Power BI, making that work for us. Another one that was this series has been very well attended, and I think a lot of people getting a lot out of it. So appreciate all your participation. Appreciate you being here tonight. Without further ado, I want to turn things over to Planet Technologies CTO Andrew Kagan. He's going to have his top 3 list from what happened out of Microsoft Ignite, and I've seen this list. It's pretty interesting, Andrew, and of course your perspective and participation here always appreciated. So thanks, man. Take it away.
All right. So a quick check just to see if we have audio, video, and PowerPoint presentation.
I'm seeing everything, Andrew.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy, for the introduction and kicking things off. I think that few things that we can never do enough of. Well, first of all, thanking you guys for helping us build this awesome community. It's been an exciting journey. We want to continue on it, and we hope you're all going to keep on with us and actually bring even more members and more participation in. Another thing that we can never do enough of is to wish you guys all a wonderful holiday season and a happy, safe, and prosperous new year. And while we do that, another thing that we cannot do enough of, please be safe. You're probably reading a lot of news about Log4j and other vulnerabilities that are like on the news right now, pretty much. Well, the cyber criminals and bad actors are out there. So as you do your online shopping and holiday travel and other things, please be cyber safe, not cyber sorry. So as Andy have mentioned, I just wanted to quickly go over like 3 things that stood out to me. This is more of a kind of personal view and opinion during this past year, and something that I think is going to continue to trend in 2022. So one thing that I'm like really impressed with is this story of from content to knowledge. We've made major strides along with Microsoft and all the partner community in terms of developing and expanding the reach of things like Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Viva, SharePoint Syntexto, and that drives learning, it drives collaboration, it drives modern workplace, it drives engagement and knowledge sharing, and it allows to use the awesome power of AI to discover actionable insights and do other things that otherwise would not be possible. And you can do all of that in a secure fashion and applying some strong data and information governance policies on top of using things like Azure Purview, for example. I think this is an amazing story, and I definitely see this as probably like a strong number 1. Number 2, something that we've done a number of meetup events on is Power Platform, or I generically called it here low-code application platforms, or LCAP. Of course, the Power Platform is at the very core, but let's not forget about all other things that kind of enhance it and augment it, things like Azure Logic Apps, ability to use Azure DevOps for agile management of software development and other projects, the use of things like API management, for example. And during this past year, and trending forward into 2022, there have been some major enhancements and new functionality released by Microsoft in areas of AI Builder, Power Automate, virtual agents, and as I mentioned here, last but not least, pay-as-you-go licensing for Power Platform using Azure. This is actually tremendous, especially for people who cannot afford to pay high licensing fees for all the people who are going to be using the platform. Sometimes you don't really know what kind of audience you're going to get for your application. So this just allows you for a very flexible usage, licensing, and payment scenarios. And as you kind of gain more usage out of it, you may graduate to a full licensing scheme instead of pay as you go, and may discover that is cheaper. But to get started, you always have those like pay as you go options that are very frugal and make a lot of sense. Last but definitely not least on my list of top 3 is security, identity, and compliance. I think it begins with pretty much the foundation that Microsoft put together in terms of their secure global data centers, and then building on top of that and making some offerings available to us to utilize things like DLP, data leak prevention, or for example, Azure Information Protection. The whole suite of Defender products for everything, for Office 365, for cloud apps, for endpoints, they all work seamlessly together. And all of that is kind of being encapsulated or wrapped around by this notion, the idea, the philosophy of zero trust. Basically not putting implicit trust into anything, as we used to say in the Cold War era, trust but verify. So, and all of that is also complemented by other technologies like, for example, Azure Sentinel. So as I went through those top 3, you probably heard me venture into things like Azure Purview, Azure Sentinel, a few other things that don't seem to belong in Microsoft 365. They're part of this other cloud. I guess my point is that there is no other cloud. There is only one cloud, but endless possibilities. And this is how we started to view this ourselves, and we highly encourage our customers and our partners to do the same. Yes, you need to have specialists, who kind of, go deep into things like modern workplace or business applications, or putting the right infrastructure together, or focusing on, data science and AI. But it is a singular, holistic, set of cloud capabilities that complement each other, that feed off each other, and they just simply better when used together. So this is my top 3, and also the idea that we basically have one Microsoft Cloud with endless possibilities. And with that, I would pass on the baton to our senior cloud strategist, Scott Dowling, who will be diving a little deeper into all things Microsoft Teams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I'd like to say thank you to everybody for joining this late in the day during the holiday season. It's fantastic to see everybody. I'd like to apologize ahead of time just in case I sound stuffed up or whatnot. I am recovering. I did get caught by the COVID bug finally after 2 years, but feeling good. And so if you hear a moment of silence, it's just me taking a drink of water. So let's just go ahead and dive right in here. My name is Scott Dowling. I'm the cloud strategist here at Planet Technologies. I've just hit 3 years here, 3 wonderful years here at Planet. And prior to that, I did work at Microsoft for a number of years, covering a vast array of their on-premise and cloud products and platforms. Today, we're going to talk about the Microsoft Fall 2021 review in regards to the Teams updates that have been provided. We're going to run through a series of those that interest both me and my team the most, and hopefully that will interest you. I am a part of the You Already Own It team here at Planet Technologies, which is a group of my peers and my managers. And this is a group of folks that respond to all of our customer inquiries that they might have, and leverage our You Already Own It team for the various no-cost support services and questions and things of that nature. And just as a reminder, if you are a member of the You Already Own It family here at Planet Technologies, this is the email to leverage if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, frustrations, or whatever else you may have. So let's go ahead and dive right in here to the Teams update around Microsoft Ignite. If there's one thing that we know, it's that hybrid work is here to stay, right? But the big question is, what will the next few years of work look like when we're working remotely, and how are you going to prepare for it? Luckily, Microsoft has some tools for that. The anticipated Teams Connect shared channels is a new feature that's getting closer. And what does this mean for you? No more switching tenants. With shared channels, users can add individuals to a single channel rather than to an entire team. Each shared channel will appear within a user's primary Teams tenant alongside existing teams and channels, providing convenient access within the current flow of work. So what's the big deal? Shared channels can be shared with individuals and teams across multiple organizations. This enables easy access. Shared channels appear within each member's Teams tenant alongside other teams and channels. Users will be able to schedule a shared channel meeting, use Microsoft apps, and share each channel with up to 50 teams and as many organizations as needed. With cross-tenant access settings in Azure Active Directory, admins can also configure granular and differentiated trust relationships for external collaboration with different organizations. This feature is expected to be available in preview in early 2022. So basically, the takeaway on this too is that organizations should start thinking about governance if you haven't already, like private channels, what to do for external users, thinking federation. This is a bit different than a guest invite. There will also be a new user app store. There's a new redesigned team store coming, and you'll find a landing page optimized for finding apps easier and rotating banners at the top that spotlight interesting apps and scenarios. You also get intelligent recommendations like featured apps and those that are popular amongst your users within your organization. The new user request capability acts as an indicator of the user's interest in the app. Now the user can see an indication that the app is currently blocked and will have an option to click the request access button in the client app marketplace. Microsoft will enable the end user to request an app that they wish to work with in Teams. When apps were blocked in the tenant before, the end users were not able to discover them in the Teams client marketplace while they were looking for the tools that they need to support their modern workplace. Now they'll be able to see those and then go ahead and request them. Each user can only request the app once until a decision on the app is made by the administrator. When the request is submitted, the admin will see the aggregated count of the request in the Manage Apps catalog, in the Teams Admin Center, and in the individual application page as an insight. Admins will also be able to manage the user request for the application. Collaborative apps are a new generation of applications with collaboration at the core. Designed and optimized for the flexibility of hybrid work inside of Teams, they bring the relevant processes, data, and people together to accomplish more. New collaborative apps from partners, including SAP and ServiceNow, enable customers to engage with these apps across chat, channels, and meetings. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Teams rooms, admin controls, and then Teams enhancements. Apologize, my slide sometimes is moving a little bit slower when it moves. On the theme of hybrid meetings, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about some Teams room updates. There's a SIP gateway that will become generally available this month for compatible SIP phone models, enabling core Teams calling functionality on legacy phones from Cisco, Poly, Yealink, and Audio Codes. The Logitech Tap Scheduler joins the Teams panels portfolio, which allows users to easily view meeting rooms availabilities, location information, and meeting details at a glance. In addition, new Teams panels features include the ability to check into a room using the panel and sensor integration that automates occupancy insights and room release, which makes rooms available if no one has checked in after a certain amount of time. Then there's the companion mode, which I really like. When joining meetings from your personal account, your video feed and everything you do to engage in the meeting is attributed to you. Using companion devices, people in the room can use their own account to engage in the meeting using chat, live reactions, and raise hand. When you bring your personal device into a Teams room, you will soon be prompted to join the meeting in a companion mode with your video automatically turned on and your audio off, so you can clearly be seen by remote participants no matter where you are in the room. For those who join in person from a companion device, their video will be hidden from the front of the room display as well as in the gallery view for other in-person participants to avoid distraction. This also frees up space in the meeting gallery so additional remote participants can be seen clearly. Direct guest join allows users to join a third-party meeting with basic controls from their team's rooms. Similarly, it allows people to join Teams meetings from their third-party room systems. Today, this is available at Zoom and Cisco. Next year, they will expand this to include BlueJeans and GoToMeeting. Finally, for administrators, they can now manage Surface hubs from the Teams Admin Center alongside other Teams devices. This is expected to be available by the end of this year, which means a lot of these things are available at the end of this year, which means could be available now or in the next week or two. For those of you looking for a portable Teams device, this might satisfy your needs. This is a 24-inch Team Endpoint standalone device that might be of interest for flexible workspaces that need portability, or maybe a dedicated Teams endpoint for the home worker. Next up, we're going to talk about some Teams and webinar enhancements, which are the ones I found most exciting, because when Teams did first come out, there was some limited functionalities when you started leveraging these features. But now, as we know, it's getting more and more robust as time goes on. So let's talk about this fun stuff, Teams and webinars enhancements. We're going to start with the Teams enhancements. First, if you didn't know this yet, you need to know live transcript has been rolled out since August. What does this mean? Teams meeting now has a real-time transcript during their meetings as well as post-meeting transcripts. This will help users in real time recall what has been spoken during the meeting, as well as review the meeting after the fact. The Power BI app in Teams is now generally available. Power BI can now be included in chats, meetings, calendar invites within Microsoft Teams. With this availability, Power BI can be included everywhere collaboration happens within Teams. As part of a general availability, there are a host of enhancements, such as notification dashboards. These are shared notifications, so it's easier to stay up to date. Report pins. These new pins allows you to pin a report as a tab feature, helping you quickly bring data into Teams channels where it's easier to find by teams. Project goals. You can create and track key project goals within new scorecard visuals that is part of the ongoing goals public preview. Now about the chat updates. Chat with Teams personal account and external users extends collaboration support by enabling Teams users to chat with Teams members outside their work network. Customers can invite any Teams user to chat using an email address or a phone number and remain within the security and compliance policy boundaries of their organization. This feature will also be available by the end of this year. Chat with Self enables users to send themselves a message, such as quick ideas or reminders, and is a safe place for writing drafts, such as quick ideas and reminders on mobile, helping you stay organized and avoid sending incomplete messages accidentally. The chat density feature lets you customize the number of chat messages you see on the screen with different settings. Compact settings let you minimize the need to scroll up and down by fitting 50% more messages on the screen. Comfortable settings keep the chat display as it is in Teams today. One of my favorites for our internal meetings, the variety of reactions users can add to a chat message has been extended, enabling users to choose from more than 800 3D emojis, up from 6 that are currently available, to find more ways to express themselves. Schedule a specific time to send messages in Teams. This enables users to select a specific time to send a message, like the delayed delivery in Outlook. Users will be able to send a chat message at a time convenient to them, and the message will also arrive to its destination at a scheduled time. This way I can always send my messages at a certain time when I want to harass my boss and make sure I'm the first person seeing what I have to say that day, and make sure it gets sent off at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Also, users' time zone can be found on their contact card in Teams now. The new search results UI in Teams chat helps users stay on top of information they need. Users can filter results and toggle between tabs to find the needed information. New search results interface in Teams allows users to filter results and switch between tabs. Another really cool feature that I'm excited about as somebody who runs a lot of meetings within teams is an order of raised hands. This is now available to ensure that all voices are heard. Now raised hands will be numbered. Also, to focus better on meetings, there will now be a quick way to mute notifications and hide your own video. Lastly, users will now be able to assign roles from the calendar scheduling form. Assign roles like co-organizer, presenter, etc. And this is going to be available in early 2022. And I want to talk a little bit about that co-organizer role. This role provides the ability to assign multiple organizers for your webinars and meetings. There can be up to 10 different co-organizers assigned, and the co-organizer will have the same capabilities and permissions as the organizer, enabling them to do multiple tasks such as manage webinar and meeting options, create polls, and control audio settings. This will also be available by the end of the year. Another theme Microsoft has been touting is the managing meetings before, during, and after. Still, today, running a webinar is a little clunky. For example, if you want to manage the session and do some pre-work by building some Q&As, you had to be in the webinar to create the polls, and you could only launch them live, not staged. Over the next 3 slides, I'm going to show you how far the webinar experience has come and where it's going. So if you still are using GoToMeeting or WebEx, you might be interested in these new features to see if they can replace what those products already do for you. Here's one of my favorites for webinar prep before the meeting starts. Virtual Green Room enables organizers and presenters to socialize, monitor chat and Q&A, manage attendee settings, and share content before the event starts. This provides a private space separate from attendees to talk to live and prep in the pre-live phase. While attendees wait, they are greeted with a welcome screen, and they can use chat to engage or pose questions with the Q&A experience. If you are familiar with live events, and you're familiar with being a producer, this next feature is kind of like combining live events with webinar as a producer. Enhanced controls for managing what attendees see will minimize distraction and keep the audience engaged during an event. This ensures that attendees will only see the shared content and presenters that are brought on the screen. The new Q&A feature enables a more structured question and answer experience. Organizers and presenters can mark best answers, filter responses, moderate and dismiss questions, and pin posts such as a welcome message. Finally, Mesh. In keeping true to hybrid work theme, Microsoft has not only provided work tools for in-person remote meetings, but now they are taking it to a 2D, 3D meeting experience. Mesh will now be integrated into in-person and remote meetings through personalized avatars and immersive spaces. Details are still hard to come by today, but I can tell you that personalized avatars will give you control to customize your avatar and use AI to imitate movements and gestures that enable you to bring your physical presence into the conversation, even when your camera's off. Users can connect with eye contact and express emotions using live reactions that will be represented through the avatar. Organizations will also be able to create immersive spaces that resemble physical spaces, such as conference rooms, design centers, and networking lounges to enhance camaraderie, spark creativity, and foster that water cooler type connection. As you can see to the right of the slide, there's an example of an immersive space. These experiences will be available in preview as part of Teams on PC and mobile through mixed reality headsets in the first half of 2022. Here's just a quick look at the avatar experience. Well, that's pretty much a wrap of some of the current roadmap development and launched items. We have several links here in this slide deck, if this is shared. The Teams breakout sessions at the Microsoft Ignite event itself, some information around Mesh for Microsoft Teams, which is extremely exciting, Teams roadmaps, and some other great links here as well. Just want to take the time to wish everybody a wonderful holiday season, and I really hope everybody has a fantastic 2022. Stay safe out there, and enjoy. And I'll pass this back over to
Scott, thank you very much, especially with the COVID and everything. Scott and I talked just before Christmas and stuff, and it just really appreciate you stepping up and doing this for everyone. I got a chance to see in the You Already Own It group the presentation as it was presented originally as part of another larger, Ignite rewind or review kind of thing in the You Already Own It group, which was fantastic. And I asked Scott to do this for this group because I thought it was so valuable and so important, to these things that we're doing here in the means that we do it through Teams. So really great stuff, Scott, especially with you being a little bit under the weather. We all wish you speedy and full recovery. If you have questions, feel free to come off mute now with your microphones if you want. We'll do this kind of informal, a small enough group. I think we can handle that tonight, and I can moderate, or you can throw, the bashful folks can throw a question in the chat that Andrew or Scott could pick up. We'll give you a couple minutes to put those thoughts together. But if you don't have any thoughts, and it was very thorough, Andrew, I really appreciate those three because so much comes out, of Ignite, and we get so much information thrown at us to highlight those types of things and the importance of it. I think is really great. And there's Andrew throwing some additional stuff in the chat there for everyone else. Like I said, this event was recorded, and we can share that in the Meetup group, so you can use this at your leisure or for whatever other purposes you like. Again, we encourage everyone to tell your friends, tell your customers, tell your colleagues, to be part of the Microsoft 365 Meetup group for government. Any idea? Okay, David, great, thank you, appreciate that. Any idea of the roadmap for Microsoft Loop, including when it will show up in government tenants as either components in Teams and OneNote or as a standalone app?
That's a really great question. I don't have the information on when it's going to show up in the government tenants, but I will certainly touch base with our friends at Microsoft and see if I can't get that information. And if we can, we'll send that out to you.
Great, and David, we put I spoke to Nick before the meetup here tonight, and he's tracking these questions, and we'll be putting stuff in the meetup group as well within the next week. There's something from Andrew on Microsoft Loop, and also I know that another thing that Planet Technologies puts out. If you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, we do a weekly roadmap from Microsoft. Our Evolve 365 team puts that together and puts it out there. You can get on that mailing list or just find it in the social media. So that would be a great way to keep track of that as well. And that's Planet Technologies Evolve 365 training and learning group. Awesome, David. That's great. We appreciate you. Any other questions out there? We'll give folks a couple minutes. Looks like Charles might be writing something. Andrew's typing in. Okay, in the GCC tenant, are we still in My Analytics? This should transition to Viva Analytics. Andrew, I know you're tracking a lot of that kind of stuff. Is that something that you would be able to address, or should we wait and see what our friends at Microsoft come in on that as well?
Yeah, I can definitely address that, but not with a whole of a lot of details, because those details are simply not available at this time. But as I think Charles correctly points out, it will eventually be replaced by Viva Analytics. It may be My Analytics for now, but this is just a matter of time. And it's a major improvement, generally speaking. We, are familiar with, My Analytics, and we, recently looked into all the Viva stuff, and you can tell the difference right away. And I think at this time, when we're all working remotely and understanding, people's working habits and whether or not they're stressed or not, what the sentiment is, I mean, it's pretty much, priceless. It could be a difference between, keeping your workforce and keeping them engaged and productive, and losing it and losing the business. So it's very important. Thank you.
That's a great point, Andrew. Appreciate that. Thank you for that question too, Charles, or the point, not kind of a point and a question, which was great.
Right, and while we're not providing a whole lot of details, to any of those questions you just guys asked, we're taking note of it. So as we find that information, we'll make sure to distribute it to this group.
Yeah, look back in the group for that in our messages, and when we post the video file, once we get that trimmed down, edited, and uploaded there. Anyone else? Those were great points, great questions. let you guys go a little bit early tonight and take some of the evening back. Again, want to wish everyone just wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Very happy, safe, and healthy new year. Thanks for being a part of this community. Thanks for making it so much fun. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. Tell a friend. We want to hit that 1,000 mark by our January, right, Andrew? We were laughing about that. We're just teetering on it. We'd love to see 1,000 by the January presentation. Happy New Year to you, David. Just a little preview. That will be part 3 of our dev series that will be coming up in January. Topic TBD. We're going to put our heads together over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, and we'll have that promotion out, that event posted in the Meetup group. And if there's nothing else or no other points or questions, once again, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays, season's greetings, and Happy New Year. Looking forward to you at future meetups too, Anne. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.